the contrast between conscious living and unconscious living is simply trying to improve the conditions around us personally and externally. Unconscious living is desperately trying to hold on to this swampy existence. Uh, there is no desire to change anything. You will become indefinite stalemate, but that's not how the natural ecosystem work. We always have this level of awareness. We know that we have to clean up our living, our personal life, mind, body, spirit, equally our external world. What is happening in our environment is a perfect example in this political climate. Cleaning up extremely swampy, toxic, shadow parts of our social structure is very challenging. What we have done is for years we have never taken inventory into what is happening, never make arrangements for transparency or take accountability and readjusting our social structure, because this is what is necessary. But what happens, we keep sweeping a garbage continuously into our every level of social structure. It's having a big impact on the collective masses. This is why it is so necessary how it's affecting us, although it's uncomfortable, although we don't want to make it very obvious and have our voices heard. It was extremely clear, especially last few years, that toxicity built up so much and it need to be a complete transformation. It's common sense observation, is a necessary observation. It's there is no other way, because we haven't done necessary maintenance of our external structures, social structures. Now, who is monitoring, who is voicing the opinions, who is trying to get the attention as to how and what we are going through, is the awakened conscious souls, because they have done a little bit of healing, recognize the mind, body, spirit vessel of being and doing external, and the contrast between shadow work and doing a genuine healing. When we recognize these things, when it time comes, we have to put everything into practice and have these uncomfortable yet necessary discussions. Because simple example, when we were confronted with these medical treatments, we didn't have options. Either you do this to maintain your employment, but we really did have a choice. However, it wasn't okay, because somehow we become so complacent. We always thought that we can always rely on our employment, we can always rely on our external institutions to look after our best interests. But we knew deep down within our hearts this level of toxicity, this level of sabotage cannot continue to go on. We knew them way before, years ago. The health, my industry, healthcare, we know there was no real healing happens there, but we have to take some personal responsibility. We maintain our health as the staff members. We struggle throughout the years because we become consumed by so much negativity and shadowness. We are unable to sometimes even go to work because inflammation's taken in, because of the joints problems, because of unable to sleep. These things, even though we're young people, vibrant and strong people, these things are creeping up on us every day more and more, because it is a business model. We cannot discuss anything about healing and anything spiritual, anything that is need to have a human connections. Human discussions is hard to come by because we are all following some sort of business model, which is toxicity itself. Nevertheless, we continue to grow, we continue to work on ourselves, we recognize the problem areas, and are trying to draw a stronger boundaries and choose yourself. We have done that, and we see year after year without employment, although it is a very stressful circumstances, and you see the level of toxicity leaving your mind, body, and spirit, and you are healing little bit by little bit. When a while ago, when you struggled to get out of bed because of all the inflammation related things, and breaking down your healthy body, mind, spirit, and so desperate to continue moving forward, then these entities are asking the impossible, trying to experiment something on your body that you're barely hanging on. Who is going to go inside your body and look after you? Barely go to work, you barely maintaining the normal standard of life, and yet you have to give up yourself, and you don't know how you're going to come out of this kind of problems. You become complete victim. This is how it affects our mind, body, spirit vessel. And all these individuals that make decision for us, they never cared that is good for you. How are you going to how are you going to deal with it afterwards? And this is how the social structure is designed, and no accountability, no responsibility, no best interest. These are blood-sucking vampires. They are not rational entities, but it is external to us. We can, when we are observant, when you are awakened, this is the kind of decision makings that going to be possible, because you're choosing yourself, you're creating a stronger boundaries. But when you stand up for what is right for you, you're always going to lose something. You're going to lose that two friends you had, and the family is completely gone, and these are the circumstances of losing choosing you. It is the lessons that is given to us by these 3D prison planet, and this is how we know that we are awakened, and we are going to make a judgment call as to the level of toxicity, level of shadow work, the level of boundaries we need to create. This is how we come into appropriate decisions, because we are awakened and conscious enough to make a judgment call. And the political structure that's happening across the border from us is there. We're not political at all, but these areas that need to be cleaned up by creating stronger boundaries, because the toxicity, the shadow work that is outside of you, but they have a huge impact, and that's how you decide by choosing individually and social structure, we have to create healthy boundaries. We have to take inventory into our finances, our goings and comings. We need to have accountability. We need to clean up the swamp. We need to clean up our finances. We need to clean up our health. It is a stalemate path to nowhere. Yet there are entities who's opposing these things. They can't tolerate this level of shakiness. It's impossible to come to terms with. But nevertheless, we know that in our personal life, we need to clean up our living environment, our closets, our unused things, and because they add heaviness into our existence. So therefore, we need to have a normal maintenance into our personal mind, body, and spirit vessel. Equally, every level of social structure, we need to have the same level of accountability, transparency, and a healthy adjustments and assessment as to where we're at when we're confronting these common sense observations. Yet there are people who are opposing this and extremely uncomfortable, because external world is designed to keep you entrapped. Without your suffering, they cannot exist. But then if everyone is healed and thriving and happy, these shadowness of our external world cannot exist. This is what the spiritual war is all about. But nevertheless, our purpose is growth. Our purpose is maturing as a mind, body, spirit vessel, making that conscious living possible, because this is our purpose. The other thing, we have to recognize the level of deception there is. This is why the natural growth is so difficult to come by, because of our extreme programming and running around in a wild goose chase, because we haven't given the accurate information. But we can only get the accurate information by maintaining that healthy connection to our source, God, the creator, our higher self. This is the only way we can have that conscious connection, and then we can navigate information. This is really important, and this is awakened souls trying to wake up the rest of the sleeping agents, and it is coming to forefront at this point, and everyone is traumatized and scared. But there is no reason to be scared. Every time you choose yourself, you're meant to lose something. It's really because it's not lining up with your energetic vibrations. This is simply the information and the energy, the warmth, energetic expressions are there, but they're not permanent, because you're still turning and tuning into your highest frequency. And this is why these things are happening. Is no reason to be scared and traumatized and confused. It is a complete cleanup. It is taking place, and we know personally when we clean up something, even though it is so hard to start, we know that closet need to be clean. We know that extra things that you don't use anymore needs to go out. But it is a really hard time starting all of this. But once you do clean up your dresser, your closet, your environment, you feel so much better afterwards. The energy flows effortlessly, and you're glad you have taken that time and did this cleanup. So in the social structure, the same thing is happening. It's really hard, it is scary, it's the unknown, but once it starts happening, it start cleaning up so much garbage that is accumulated over the years and centuries. We are going to have much more pleasant existence in this 3D planet, and we may be going to go into a different higher frequency altogether. But what we are stuck doing is, um, for example, grass is not always greener in the other side, but we have to nurture, um, what is there already. We have to know our own worth. We have to know how to draw the boundaries. Like, for example, in our employment circumstances, we chose unions. We have these another one because we're not happy. It doesn't really matter who is there. They are already a business model with the limitations, so there's so much they can do. But the difference outcome is that you have to recognize your value, your contribution, your essential workforce. This is where you're at. So then we have to recognize what we put out. No one can be there and be a savior for us. And this is what is happening in our external world, and there's nothing to be scared about. I am really hopeful something really beautiful is going to come out. Instead of complaining about the taxes or complaining about all the horrible things this individual is trying to do for the humanity, maybe this is the perfect time to take that opportunity to create healthy existence, healthy systems, and to clean up things that no longer serves us, because our understanding is elevated, our awareness is elevated, our consciousness is elevated. We are not going to be easily following and fooled by the glamorous toxic trauma bodies. We can recognize. So therefore, the institutions have to take this opportunity to elevate, and with time, with energy, with the most connected, conscious individuals, the human, the masses. So then we have to clean up our act. So it is an opportunity. It's not a toxic, scary, horrible thing. So anyone who is understanding about assessment of level of toxicity personally and externally shouldn't be protesting these transition period. It is going to empower people who are already awakened, also shining a huge light over to the areas that is cluttered with the garbage, with the toxicity, with the abuse, with the manipulation, with the hijacking energies, and all of these lower grades energies and shadow parts of our human existence. It is an opportunity. So then who you are. You are awakened, conscious individual. You are toxic trauma body. And nevertheless, we have a clear assessment as to where we are at. This is the beginning of huge transition, and I am not worried one bit. I'm hopeful, and there's no need to go through these fear-mongering, traumatic horror show. Instead, we empower ourselves just the same way that when we lost our job, it was a really scary thing. but at the same time you are a completely different person that you'll never go back to. You heal your inflammation, you can get out of your bed without screaming, without agony. You can go to sleep and maybe have a good night's sleep. You clean up everything, your mind, body, spirit, including your cluttered environment. Maybe these are all good things. It could never happen without that loss of something, but you gain so much more. And we don't know, we don't have a plan, we don't have any goals, but yet we continue to be, instead of doing just like we were taught from the beginning. We were busy doing, but now it was a time that we chosen ourselves. We're busy being. We're busy being yourself, what makes you happy, healing yourself with time, and learning to connect yourself and more strongly connected to your higher self, and have a little bit stronger faith. So everything worked out for the best, because the scary circumstances doesn't have to deprive us from the progression of our mind, body, spirit. That includes our social structure, because although we like to keep ourselves separated, we have a much better, easier time when we're conscious, and we make conscious decisions to improve things and destroy things that no longer supports the conscious mind, body, spirit vessels. And this is the natural growth, and this is where we're heading. I um, I I am very hopeful, and I would I would take a time to uh, continue loving state of being, loving our everything that is important, and everything that's working towards creating more harmonious, balanced environment and its citizen. We're really hopeful, and don't be scared.